Okay. Hi everybody. We're just getting our camera situated here for our afternoon live Periscope broadcast. How is everybody? So, Bill Corbett here, Corbett Public Relations and the Grow Your Personal Brand marketing program for individuals and businesses. Today was an interesting day. We had the opportunity to help out a friend of mine, Adam Schwam, who's the owner of Sandwire, which is an IT company, and Adam was kind enough to make a very generous donation of $10,000 worth of computer equipment to a program called Commerce Plaza. And Commerce Plaza is a program for 5th grade students from across Nassau County. This is in New York, but there's similar programs across the country where children come for a day and they learn about business. They learn about personal finance. They learn about how to write checks and balance sheets and how to order materials and how to purchase things and really get a real-life experience in the business world. And it was fun. But today was a little special because they asked me as a PR person, as a marketing person, to help promote the event and help to promote this donation that my friend Adam at Sandwire made. So we were able to attract some video coverage down there from local news, which is News 12, and FiOS. And this is some pictures from the event today with two young ladies, including Adam's daughter, who were interviewed by local television. And that got me thinking about what are some of the challenges we face in the marketing and video production world when we're working with kids. You know, working with kids can be a real challenge. I have my own show called Inspiring Stories, and during the course of doing this show over the past couple of years, I've had a couple of young people on, as young as about 10 or 12 years old, for 15-minute segments. I can tell you, it is a challenge. So kids are great, though. Kids are spontaneous. Kids offer, a great innocent perspective, and it's also an event like this shows kids learning, and the media is really interested in that type of stuff. So I thought I'd just go through some interesting points about working with kids in video. One, obviously, I just said it's important to work with kids. They're interesting. They create an interesting perspective for the media and for us to see. It's great to watch kids learn and have a fun time. So remember that many kids have never done video before, so they're going to be nervous. So you have to take that into account. Remember that. Although kids today are used to these smartphones, and I'm shooting this on an iPad mini, they're used to being on video a lot more than we were. Obviously, we didn't have video. I'm 48 years old. We didn't have video cameras. Maybe a 8mm camera that my father had when I was a kid, and it took like 2 weeks until he'd see the movies. But this is immediate gratification, or later at night with that TV news report. So one, if you remember, have never done it before, but they are somewhat familiar, especially even these 5th graders who are about 10 and 11 years old. When you're working with kids, and I've interviewed quite a few in addition to my show, and work with them on various projects and help them do media interviews, is you have to stay relaxed. You have to stay calm and explain to them very clearly what you're going to be doing, because again, they're nervous, they don't know what's going on, so you want to show that you're confident, so that confidence carries over to them. You certainly always want to stay relaxed, because if you look nervous, they're going to be nervous, and that's not going to work out at all. We had one child today, he was very good, but I could see in his hands he was a little nervous, so we just took our time, relaxed, and then he did a very good job. He was able to articulate his points. And a lot of times these videos, even though we shoot for 5 or 10 minutes, we're only going to use a very small portion, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, even. And you want to make those kids feel special. You want to focus on them, make sure they're the center of the attention, center of the room, and give them the respect that they need so that they will feel ready and able to do it. And you know what? Let them know that it's okay to make a mistake. We had a couple of kids who said some things. They wanted to let them redo it. This isn't live television, although we're doing live. Periscope here. It's not live. So every time it's recorded, you can have a blooper, or you can redo something if it isn't said exactly the way you wanted it to. Always important is know what your questions are going to be in advance. It's not just important for when you're working with kids, but it's also important when you're working with adults, or whenever you're going to be the interviewer. Always know your questions and practice them, and even write them down. A lot of times I'll write them down for myself. I'll use index cards, or I'll use a sheet. And right now, my questions are right on my screen here as I look over at them occasionally. So always write your questions down and practice them. Sometimes if they're a tongue twister or something, you want to make sure that you can ask the question appropriately and be prepared prepared to do it. You know, this is live television, so we got a live periscope, and so we got a train going on behind us here on Long Island. Know what to do if someone gives you a one-word answer, right? Happens all the time. How was your day? Great. Can you tell me about what it was like to go to that business event? It was fantastic. You know, so that doesn't tell us a lot. So you want to encourage people to answer questions in such a way as to give you more information. So when you ask questions, you can ask them, you know, how did you feel about that? Or what did you think about that? Or what did you like about that? And usually those types of questions will allow you to get a longer answer. And if you still don't get it, try to extend that question again. Ask it again. Ask it in a different way. Sound familiar? Do I sound like a member of the media? They're going to ask a question a bunch of different ways until they get the answer they want, or at least enough information that they can use to edit the piece that they're working on. So that's that's important. Be prepared. I mean, anytime you do an interview, you need to be prepared and know what's going to happen if you don't get the answers you want. A lot of times when you ask a question, you got to make sure the person you're asking knows that they want to rephrase the question in the answer, because the interviewer may or may not be heard. So you want to make sure that you, depending on the type of interview you're doing, to include that information for the interviewee. And that's even more important when it's a child who's never done this before, or is very not familiar with the type of video we're doing. This isn't a fun video of someone playing a game or hanging out in their basement or a birthday party. This is something that's going to be used, as part of a marketing piece or a news piece, like we have here. A couple examples on the screen. And the reporter here was very good. He was very kind, took his time with the kids, and asked very short, very quick questions. But he was able to get the answers from them. Remember, if you help the student or the young person, give the right answer, by helping them, it helps you. The more time you can spend with them, and even spend time ahead of, before the interview, sit down with them, chat with them, or at least give them an idea of what is going to happen. It's it's scary, it's uncertain. They don't know what's going to happen. So if you tell them, okay, this is where the camera's going to get set up here, you're going to get a microphone, you're going to be asked questions, where to look. You want to tell them, look you in the eye, or sometimes you want to have them look directly into the camera lens, depending on the situation. I usually, when I'm interviewing these young people, in this particular case, I was standing like this gentleman, you can even see, right next to the camera. So they're either looking at the camera lens or directly at you. You don't want them looking off in 10 different directions. Remember that a lot of times when people are thinking, they'll look up, they'll look down, look around. So when you coach somebody or you talk to them ahead of time, and they know what you're going to ask them, and they're thinking about it ahead of time, or they've even practiced, then they tend not to look around as much, and that's really good. So if you're preparing somebody for a television interview, or you're getting ready yourself, think about the questions you're going to be asked and have the answers in your head. And this requires some practice yourself. If you're going to be doing a TV interview, think of the questions, go in front of the mirror, go in front of your tablet or your phone, and practice, because how you look there, you want to reflect positively how you will present yourself and give the answers that you want to give. So as I said, do a run through with the young people, and tell them exactly what's going to happen. And finally, with young people, you got to have some fun. You got to have some fun. Make it an enjoyable experience so it isn't scary. Look, I'm a dad of 6-year-old twins, and I can joke around with them. And every time I joke with them, do they laugh? Not every time, but a lot of times they do. So we try to have some fun. I try to have a comfortable and relaxed atmosphere. Let the kids be in a position where they feel comfortable, and ask them questions that they feel ready and prepared to answer. Don't ask them questions that are above their age level, and don't ask them really complex questions. We were asking kids today about Commerce Plaza and their experience. How were they feeling at the event? What do they like about it? And what is it like being with their friends? And those are easy answers for them, but that's the kind of information that we wanted to get. But it wasn't easy in every case. There, some questions we had to ask a couple of different times, and out of the 4 or 5 kids that we interviewed, we didn't get every perfect answer. But that's life, and that's why we take our time and shoot multiple questions and multiple responses, and try to ask things some different ways to make sure that the kids and we get what we need out of the production that we're doing. So I thought that was fun. We're going to have a blog with some of these topics covered on it as well. But I just thought, coming back from an event today, we had a local newspaper in Newsday, we had FiOS Television there, we had News 12 Long Island there, and part of our blog will show you some of those clippings or some of the screen captures we have from that, and the quality job that the kids did, and give you some additional commentary. I'm always happy to answer questions. We coach people all the time about how to be on television, be prepared. I prepared myself a little bit with some questions, but I've done this about 1,000 times, so I know what I'm doing. But the first time I did this, I was a stuttering person, and I didn't know exactly how to put this all together. But today we're having fun with Periscope. Hope that you got some things out of this program today. You can check out my websites, which are growyourpersonalbrand.com, and those are programs for business people, people from not-for-profits, people from really any walk of life, even students who are looking to get prepared to enter the workforce, to learn about how to build their brand and what questions they need to ask themselves to project themselves properly. And Corbett Public Relations, we're a full-service public relations firm, and we, just like we're talking about today about working with children, we work with adults to help them project the best possible image, both in the media and on television. And we love doing that. We love people to tell their stories, to tell get their brand message out there, to demonstrate their expertise, and really have some fun in the process of doing that. So that's all I got for today. It's about 4 o'clock. I got to go home and watch the videos on the 5 o'clock news from the program today that we shot at Commerce Plaza. I want to thank my friend Adam Schwam for having us participate in that today. It was exciting. There were 40 kids there. The energy was great, and I'm happy to help it, and happy to help teach them about business, and secondarily teach them about the entrepreneurial spirit, which we really need to do on Long Island, and across the nation. It's important. So thank you very much, and